Hey, this is Ivan here, another cool video from the Player channel, and I'm taking a nap actually. It has been a long drive today, and I'm listening some podcasts and very interesting topic, and something started bothering me. You know, in the man community, the manosphere, and there's a lot of cool people there discussing man problem. And I want to point at some guys, uh, like for example, I'm sorry, I just got that. And some guys like Rich Cooper, he has a good following, like a lot of business out of these guys. And he is having like a very cool channel. It's called Car Entrepreneurs in Cars, yeah. And but by the way, in that channel there is a subsection called Before the Train Wreck. And sometimes I like to listen this stuff. There's two things you can learn from this thing. A lot of misery of man. Uh, and let's hear today a little bit of peace. Here is a case. Now I want to say about this beforehand, so you don't have any assumption. The channel is very cool, everything is cool, and but there is a danger in this to listen this kind of stuff. I just want to warn you about the danger, and the danger is it's very difficult to explain. So now I have to tell you the case study that I'm doing. Before the train wreck, it's episodes that are showing men what kind of danger they can go into if they don't have understanding of females, the politics between men and female, female psychology, and all this stuff. These are very valuable topics, and in particularly in the train before the train wreck. Rich Cooper is doing analysis of trains already wrecked. Somehow poor guy married to some bitch and she was mistreating him and da 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 da. And now I'm gonna show you one of these things. So these things before the internet, because I'm come from the era before the internet, way before the cell phone. I may say, you may guys say that I'm ancient. I'm ancient. And before, this type of story was like word of mouth story. You cannot hear them too much. You don't know. Barely. You're gonna hear from third perspective, fifth perspective. The story comes to me, like this type of stories, they would come to me by 20 interpreters interpreting one story that happened somewhere in the other side of the country. Something like this was before the internet. Like for example, today's story, it's called Wife Turns to OnlyFans, and it's about this chick Nicole Mitchell, who she got married very young. Of course, huge mistake, 21, 22. By the 24 or 25, whatever, she got 3 kids, and the guy got kicked out of her life. She really kicked out the guy. And now let's hear some of this thing, and I will show you. Like here is Rich, free advertisement for Rich here in my channel. And
if that changed for her,
okay, now let's see.
Continue to pay that regardless of what her income is from OnlyFans.
Yeah, that is a great question. And in most jurisdictions, support is always modifiable with a significant change in circumstances. So the burden of proof would be on the actor if the actor was pinned down to a high amount to say, hey, I've been on all these auditions.
According to Dave Foley in that interview. He said he could not convince the courts to change that.
Yeah, well,
even though his income changed, he was unable to petition the courts to change the amount of his financial obligations. I think he was actually thrown in jail.
The other way where it could be stuck in cement is if you agree to an amount and a duration of support or alimony, then the court's hands are tied because it's viewed under contract principles. Well, you agreed. That's why if there's any doubt, you don't want to agree. You could always petition the court to modify it.
Okay.
So I don't know if he agreed and then couldn't make up the money.
So there's a lot
years
to
later.
speculate there.
Yeah, we don't know the facts.
But I mean, like, it looks like she would actually owe him money. So her leaving the marriage, her taking the feminist pill, and getting indoctrinated with her spirituality and her freedom and her "I'm a new life coach" sort of thing is actually going to cost her a lot of money monthly. She's basically pimping herself out to give him a good chunk of that money at some point down the road. Yeah, I mean, he should fare out pretty decently, I would imagine.
Well, in terms of equitable distribution, or if it's community property state like California,
Yeah.
if she's only been making bank for a short period of time, again, whatever happens during the marriage stays in the marriage. So if she wasn't really making a lot of money in the early years, that's not going to get split up.
Okay.
The date that they separate, that date of separation is critical in most of
Okay,
these types of
so
cases.
if she's a seamstress and then separates and then all of a sudden pivots after the separation date and now she's an OnlyFans model, you're saying that the $47,000 doesn't go his way, or a portion of that?
A portion of it goes his way. In some jurisdictions, they have what's known as APL, or alimony pendente lite, which just keeps the playing field level during the litigation. Because if she's making 47 grand a month and he's making 60,000 a year, she's going to have a lot more firepower, and the courts don't like that. So they can order her to pay him a percentage of the difference of their income during the course of litigation. And then the day that the divorce.
Okay, so I hope you got the picture, but I wanna point a few good things here. That's like in this case they are discussing about people that are going through divorce, and the girl, for some reason, the girl is the bitch, and she is she found her new identity. It's a long story. You have to go if you want to really see this whole thing. Like this whole thing, it's about 55 minutes. It's called Before the Train Wreck, BTT number 74. Wife turns to OnlyFans, Nicole Mitchell. Anyway, sometimes I like to listen to this kind of drama and to see how men are messed up, they are fucked up by these money-hungry girls or whatever. But in this case, it's just the other way around. The other way around is that this guy, it's a poor guy, probably some guy who went into marriage too quick, too fast, without thinking, and then the girl got 3 kids from him, and then all of a sudden she realized that, you know, she gotta go her own way, and she went her own way, and she made a lot of money, like $1,000 a day, 47,000, like. And of course, she wasn't doing the good things. She was just going naked in front of other jerk-offs in internet, which is, you know, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, whatever you call it. It's free country. Do whatever the hell you want. Women, they are in advantage to do that. If they show off their tits, they have like 10,000 followers in Instagram. So they can monetize on that. But now let me get to my point. What bothers me in this, it seems to me that these two guys, Rich, for example, he's strongly taking the side of the guy, poor guy, you know. The girl now has to give him money. That is Rich's position, or at least what he's trying to say, the guy should not be penalized with his miserable salary of $50,000 a year to give cut to the girl. You know, it's a money thing. Now, let me tell you my position. Don't ever get married. If you're a guy, don't ever get married. I'm telling you, like 50 years old. Now I'm like kind of proud that I'm gonna turn 50. You know, I'm start bragging for the last couple of videos. Anyway, I tell you this. I went through long-term relationship. I went through the happy marriage and happy divorce. And long-term relationships and all kinds of shit. But I can tell you one thing. Do not ever get married legally. Never ever get married legally. You can have kids, that's okay. You can have a church marriage, that's okay. But legally, do not go there. Do not go in the court system. It is just a contract between you and your wife or your new girlfriend. How are you going to go about this? And if you're a real man, you will never get married in 2020 or further, because once you get married, somebody, third party, comes in your way. It's no longer, I repeated this in a couple of my videos, it's no longer you and your wife. It's the United States government, the court system, and bunch of lawyers and other people. They're going to take all your money away. So don't be stupid, okay? Don't be stupid. Do not get married. If you make this stupid mistake, get a prenup. About the money. The prenup is just simply about the money. That's it. Like a contract. Now, if you're smart, invest a lot of money in prenup agreement. Go to lawyers. Do the job before you even get to the marriage. A lot of young kids, they just don't know. But I'm telling you here. Now, I want to say some other thing. Like, in the before the train wreck, there are very good elements, but there are some really bad elements. For example, the position of Rich, that in particularly in this episode, kind of Rich kind of is standing up for his body, his man, his weak fucking moron that did all these mistakes. But that is on him. And I would say I also have empathy for the guy. I would also have empathy for the guy, like a human being, like a person. Yes, we understand he was hurt, he was fucked up. The girl turned from a saint to a bitch. That is her choice. But I do not stand for Rich defending the guy for the money part. You see? Because the attitude of guy like Rich and all us, like guys, if we go and if we stand in the court, all of us, and say, hey, this is unfair, the bitch is a bitch, she turned from a saint to a slut. If we go and say this in court, and even if we prove that we're right, now the more fundamental question here is, what makes us as men? It's just we are turning into like just another little bitch talking about, like, I imagine like 10 bitches talking about how her man left her and he didn't leave her a penny, and now poor soul she is, wow, how she will pay her bills, how she will struggle with this, with that. We men standing up for guys like this, guys that they made mistake in their life. We can be sympathetic, yes. We can be helping them on a spiritual level, on a psychological level. But when it comes to the money, if we start discussing money and fair and all this, we know we are not dealing just between sexes, between men and women. We are also dealing with the court system. And in the court system are different rules that we very little know about it, unless we are lawyers, right? Unless we are lawyers, but we are not. Some of us are, yeah. But all I'm saying that if we take this position that, oh, poor guy, he has a $50 salary only, and this bitch is making $50,000 a month, and probably she will grow because they will be more jerk-offs, like, yeah, baby, yeah, like other fucking morons that will support her, right? So when we start supporting the guy, we just turn into little bitches, Of course, this is good for Rich because he needs drama. I understand him. He's in business of YouTube and stuff. I understand him. But for the money part, he as a businessman, he should understand. I can tell him personally, hey, Rich, you should understand this thing. It's like, it's just simply business. What I suggest, the poor guy that make just $50,000 to man up, look at this bitch and say, hey, I'm a smart guy, I can do something like this. It doesn't have to be showing off his tits or whatever he has, but he's a smart guy. If he's a smart guy, Hey, it's a free world. The girl can go do whatever the hell she wants. She left the guy. Now the guy can go do the same thing. We don't have to sorry for him financially. We can sorry for him as, yes, he was in a bad position. He has 3 kids. He is suffering, going out of this divorce, whatever, but not the money part. The money part is a different story. That's all I'm about to say here. I think my point makes some sense. Go watch the Before the Train Wreck 74. I very rarely would discuss. I would very rarely discuss other colleagues, like people from all these men communities, whatever you call them, the manosphere, the red pill knowledge, and blah, 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 the game, the playboys and the playgirls and all these gurus. I would very, very rarely discuss them, but it's good to discuss them. Sometimes, I learn in the process of this discussion, and I suggest you to do the same. Look for different opinions. And most likely opposite opinion. That's a good way to look at things. There is a guy here, the guy who was with Rich. This is Rich, by the way. The guy who was with Rich, he was kind of taking the position of the girl. And I'm not taking the girl position or the guy position, but I'm just saying that if we as men start yapping and start complaining and bitching about the poor guy, oh my God, we just turn into girls. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you think this is a good opinion, please share it with some friend of yours. Maybe some friend of yours is also in this position. Oh, my buddy, he got kicked in the nuts of this fucking bitch, and now what we're gonna do? We're gonna collect some $5 and we're gonna support the guy. That's bullshit, man. That's not how men support men. Men should go to this guy and talk to this guy directly. Hey, yo, or whatever. Sir, wake up, sir. Excuse me, sir. Wake up, my friend. What have you been doing? Okay, you're 24 years old. We know your eyes was closed. You made bunch of mistakes. You got involved too early with this girl. You didn't scan her. You didn't do proper game. You jump into family too fast. Even in the whatever, there's like a fiance in 5 months and marriage in 1 year and 3 kids in 3 years. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, but you did all these mistakes. But now, we as a men's society, as a men community, we're not going to be like, oh, sorry, my friend, we're going to help you out. No, we should get this guy and send him to Dan Pena. That's all. That's all. That's my opinion, guys. So, yeah, I think it's a controversial topic. And my opinion is not with the mainstream of the red pill or the blue pill or whatever. It's just my opinion. Maybe not valuable at all. And you should not take my opinion as it's just an opinion, but anyway, if you think it's valuable, if there are some points, hey, watch both sides. Thank you so much, and subscribe, and also share with some friend. Okay.